Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Barry here with the Scryguys, and today we're going to be doing a retro commander for you guys. A little story behind this, why I wanted to do Momir Vig, uh, Simic Visionary, is I was at like at an LGS, and somebody was looking through somebody's trade binder, and they came across Momir Vig, and they're like, "Oh man, this guy's busted. How come like no one makes decks out of this guy? He's has a crazy ability." And I was just like, I just remembered, oh my gosh, like yeah, there's a lot of people that just got into Magic fairly recent and haven't seen some of the old retro commanders. Now, I hopefully you guys saw like my older one where I did Riku. So I was like, I guess I should just continue just doing older commanders and how I would build them in today's card pool, because it's this guy came out I think 2006 in the like OG Ravnica block, and so yeah, let's just get into it. So if you guys don't know, Momir Vig Simic Visionary is a legendary creature elf wizard. Whenever you play a green creature card, you may search your library for a creature card and reveal it. If you do, shuffle your library, put it on top. Whenever you play a blue creature spell, reveal the top card. If it's a creature, put it into your hand. So it's a really toolboxy type of commander, honestly. And probably one of the main reasons I don't play it anymore is like one of the first commanders I built alongside Karametra. It's just that I kind of got tired of searching through my library for stuff. It just kind of didn't make it as fun to me. But he is a really powerful commander. I feel like if this guy was, I don't know, 3 mana, you'd probably see him in CDH. Probably not. I don't know. I don't play CDH. I'm just thinking out my butt. But yeah, it's gonna be a super heavy creature deck. We have about 40 creatures in there, very low on sorceries, instants, enchantments, and artifacts. Very minimal, just because anything that I can do on those, I try to put it onto creatures, right? But hey, there's tons of board wipes. Farewell is still around, unfortunately, and so you still need all those other cards. But yeah, it is a super heavy creature deck. But let's get into it. So we have our one planeswalker, Oko, Thief of Crowns. Everybody hates him because he he turns everybody's commanders into what 3/3 L creatures, but I mean he's good. So what can I really say about that? Get into our creatures. Okay, we have around 39 creatures. We have, as you can see, we have Mana Dorks in here. We are gonna have things like Quelling Oracle, Ice Fang, Quado, and Pawn Prophet, which is going to be a new card from Bloomborough to supplement our card draw, but also trigger our commander's ability twice. Because when you cast these multicolored spells, you can go ahead and search for a creature card, put it on top, and then with the second one, you can go ahead and draw that card, or not draw it, put it into your hand, which is great because it gets around effects like the 3 mana Narset Planeswalker. Gets around Smothering Tides. You don't have to pay to draw, or you don't get restricted from drawing them because you're technically not drawing them. You're putting them into your hand. So because we are going to be more heavy on the creature side, I mean, I also have like abilities that are going to turn all of the creatures into mana dorks as well. We have Collector Oof in here, which I could already hear the collective moans of you guys. Like, oh, what about my treasures? Sorry, it's just not going to be useful for you right now. Because I believe we only have around 5 artifacts in here, and so it's a great way to shut our opponents down from going too crazy with the Dockside Extortionists and the Smothering Tides, because God knows that some of you guys don't pay your Smothering Tide tax, and it just gets out of hand. We have Kinnan Bonner Prodigy, just a really good card, especially if you're gonna go more mana, like you're turning all your mana dorks into mana doublers and all that stuff. Great. And then also we have a fair amount of non-human creature spells in this deck, so to be able to activate that ability is gonna be pretty easy. We won't be able to obviously abuse it like other decks do, but I think it's still a great include. Curious Follower is just great just to untap some of our permanents that we need to, like Priest of Titania. We do have a fair amount of elves in here and some clone effects that we can get more elves or get more Priest of Titanias. Luna's Cryptozoologist is great. Again, 39 creatures. We do have a fair amount of bouncing effects in the deck to really take advantage of the investigate portion. Because, sometimes you kind of gas out with these Simic decks, or you overcommitted to a board and then it gets board wide, and now you're just like, I have no cards in hand. Great creature for you to help you get back into the game, and also to steal things from opponents' libraries with his ability. Maraleaf Pixie, a great mana dork for this deck, especially because it triggers the effect of Momir Vig. Pawn Prophet, obviously already talked about that. Sakura Tribe Elder. So we have like all of our creatures are always just gonna try to get us land. Steve is a classic. Circle of Dreams of Druid is a budget-friendly version of our Gaia's Cradle, so that's nice. Clement the Worry Ward is another creature from Bloomberg that's pretty new. It's honestly, there's not a lot of frogs in this deck, so it's a 3 mana dork that only taps for 1, but its ability on the top portion kind of gives it a little bit more merit, right? Because then we're going to be able to, like I said, we're going to be able to bounce creatures back into our hand, and hopefully maybe even save them if we have any of our flash abilities out. Eladamri, the new one from Modern Horizons, is great because it's going to give us a look into the top card of our deck. Also, it has an ability for us to go ahead and tap 2 creatures to cheat something out from the top of our library or our hand. So, just who doesn't like cheating big things out? Eternal Witness is great here, and we have cards like Archaeomancer to get things back from our graveyard, especially if we get into a loop to go down and finish the game. That's going to be pretty easy for us to go ahead and do if we have our Lily Splash Mentor or our Teamer Sabertooth out, and then we have one of our extra turn cards out. Yes, I know, I just heard you when I said extra turns. I'm sorry, but this is how I would build this deck because this is the play group that I play with. But yeah, so that those two loop together. We have Hydroelectric Specimen, which I love these modal cards for Modern Horizons because you can pay 3 life to have them come in untapped, which is great. But then this one was also a great protection spell, really great as well too, because if you have a card like Teamer Sabertooth out, you can go ahead and change the target of the spell to him and then bounce it back to your hand before the spell resolves, and then it just fizzles out. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. Let me know if you're a judge to tell me that I'm freaking wrong, right? But yeah, and then if you get it at the opening hand, you could just possibly keep it and then just have it come in as a tapped land. So really good card, and we have a bounce land in here, so we can go ahead and bounce this back into our hand too. So we have Nadu, the newly banned from Modern Nadu. Again, like I said, we have a bunch of bounce abilities in here, so we can go ahead and trigger that off. It's really in here for value. It doesn't really synergize as much as I would like it to, but it's still a relatively good card, so why not put it in here? Spellseeker is great to go ahead and tutor us counter spells or cyclonic rifts, just the casual stuff. Trigon Predator is a nice replacement for any type of destroy artifact or enchantment effects, so that's great. Uro Titan, again, just a 3 mana, trigger our commander twice. It won't it won't let us trigger the second portion if we put a creature, or if we it will still trigger. Yeah, so it's great. And then the fact is we get to put a creature card into our hand, and then from Uro's ETB we can go ahead and draw an extra card, put an extra land down. Really great. What else? Another way to just replacement for like a Cultivate. We don't get the extra land in our hand, but Beast Whisperer, a Guardian Project pretty much, right? Defathom Echo, I kind of like this card. I've been trying it out in different decks. I like that it explores, so it kind of thins out our deck. If we get a land, we put it into our hand. If we have something that we don't need on top, we just go ahead and mill it away, right? Or I don't know if that's technically milling, but it also gives us the ability to have it become another creature on our board. So we need another Beast Whisperer or a Priest of Titania, something that's gonna have some sort of ability that is not an ETB ability, right? So I think I like it because it has a decent amount of flexibility into copying our creatures on the board. Maybe we No one ever needs another Nyx Bloom Ancient, but hey, if you have another Nyx Bloom Ancient and that's it, that's great, right? We have a couple counter spells in here in creature forms that'll also trigger our commanders as well. So we have Mystic Snake and Frilled Mystic, just pretty just toolboxy type of cards. Inga and Esika is a creature that's going to give all of our creatures the ability to be mana dorks for creature spells, and then if we cast a creature spell with three or more mana from creatures, we also get to draw a card. So just a great card right there. Lily Splash Mentor and Temur Sabertooth are just for redundancy. Temur Sabertooth is a little bit better because you can do that at instant speed, obviously, but Lily Splash Mentor is also good in its own right because it's a flicker effect. We exile it and then put it back onto the battlefield, and we have a creature in here that we might want to just go ahead and do that. We don't want to pay an extra set amount of mana. We want to just go ahead and flicker it, and so Lily Splash Mentor is going to be able to do that for us. Rashmi, again, is just a really great Simic card. Not much to say there. Here is our legal version of Prophet of Krufix in here. Seedborn Muse is great, and Teferi Mage of Zalfir. If Mage of Zalfir is out, it could possibly help us in the game because each opponent can cast spells. Each opponent can only cast spells when they can cast sorcery spells. So, you know, if it's your turn and you're trying to end the game right at that moment, this might be able to save you because no one's gonna psych riff you before you can do anything, right? And it also gives our creature spells flash, so that's great. Progenitor Mimic is a pet card. You definitely don't need this in this deck because originally, like, this deck, when I first built it, it had like all the clones to do the biovisionary thing, but that got super old quick. You can definitely take this out for whatever you guys want, but it's a pet card, sorry. But Surag and Goreclaw is going to be one of those cards. This is going to act like our Concordant Crossroads. I kind of have a love-hate thing with Concordant Crossroads because if you're not able to finish the game out when you play that card, then your opponent can kind of just steamroll you after that, which is never that great, and which always keeps me from putting Concordant Crossroads into decks. But if you have Teferi out, you can kind of just go ham on the board with Surag and Goreclaw, buff all your creatures that come in with +1/+1 in haste, and then it also just gives all your creatures trample. So it's a really good card, man. It's like $5. I'm surprised, and the foil is like 15 or 14 something, so that's crazy for me. And then we have Nyx Bloom Ancient. The fact that we could just tutor this out and put it onto our hand is crazy. Craterhoof Behemoth is going to be the card I would like to Lily Splash Mentor. You know, if you have 8 mana in Simic, that's easy. 11, you just need 11 mana to just buff the board up twice and then just alpha swing at everybody else. So what are you gonna do about that? And then Apex Devastator is just a great green card, right? So let's look at our sorceries. So we have 1, 2, 3. We have four ways to ramp up. We have Neoform. The 2 is to sacrifice and tutor a creature. You know, if you don't need that Frilled Mystic anymore, you probably need a Teferi Mage of Zalfir, so that's going to be a great way to do that. We have 2 of our extra turn spells just to give us the edge to possibly end everybody else after that. You know, like we take out one player, capture Jingzhao or Temporal Manipulation, and then we, you know, go. And if you have Archaeomancer or Eternal Witness out, then you pretty much just win that game. It's pretty much scoops, right? Our instants are going to be Arcane Denial, Counterspell, Mana Drain, Fierce Guardianship for our Counterspell package, Cyclonic Rift for our board wipe, Growth Spiral, Heroic Intervention, Beast Within, and Sink into Stupor is, I think, a really great card. When I first saw this card, when I was opening up packs of Modern Horizons, I was like, this card is really good. The fact that you could also just have it come in as a land, pay 3 life untapped, but it also gets around uncounterable spells because it just returns a spell to their hand. It's not technically countered, so that's great. And it also will be able to bounce a non-land permanent to an opponent's hand, right? And then Nexus of Faith is another extra turn card. I hear the groans. Artifacts, we have 5, so Jewel Lotus, Mana Crypt, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, pretty basic. And then the Great Henge for another draw outlet for us. Same thing with enchantments, Mystic Remora, Ristic Study, and Guardian Project for our draws, Sylvan Library, and then Cryptolith, right, as a way for us to get another way to turn our creatures into mana dorks. And we're going to be looking at 34 lands, 2 lands including the MDFCs. We have Alchemist Refuge to give our spells flash. Breeding Pool and Misty Rainforest is probably going to be our most expensive lands in here. including with hedge mage as well, which is like $8-9. Yeah, but nothing too crazy on the lands. I mean, obviously you can go crazy with it with like an ancient tomb. You can go with the guy's cradle. It's super easy. I mean, this deck was already like $800, so I think it's pretty crazy. But yeah, that's gonna be the deck for this guy for Momir Vig. Pretty crazy. I just never really see him anymore at tables, so that kind of sucks. Just because he's still a really great commander. The iterations that I don't know if they've had other iterations of him reprinted ever since. Like not Momir this specific card, but just Momir Vig, Simic Master or something like that. I don't know, but this has been pretty busted. Yeah, but yeah, let me know what you guys think of this retro commander deck, and yeah, well, again, we want to thank you guys for all the subs and all the comments that you guys leave. We appreciate it. We're trying to move forward to scale it up a little bit more with the Discord and all that stuff, and hopefully get somebody to do our new logos and all that stuff. So yeah, definitely check that out. Hopefully you'll see Quest at MagicCon if you guys are coming out in Vegas. Definitely say what's up to him. I don't know if I'll be able to make it just because of work and all that stuff. So, but yeah, definitely say what's up to him. He's always gonna be down to talk Magic with you guys, and yeah, appreciate you guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and have a good day.